Good morning, first graders. Happy Friday. Today I am out of town, so this is going to be our morning meeting. All right, I'm going to do it right now for you guys, and you can just watch it. And then you'll go to the next slide, and then there's going to be a really fun directed drawing. So today we're going to draw a scarecrow together on my video. So I hope you guys are having a great Friday. And so today is Friday, October 9th, 2020. And I wanted to still do some of our morning routine, okay? So there is a fun fact of the day. Our fun fact is that we use 72 muscles in our body just to talk. That is a lot of muscles that we must be using all day. How crazy is that? Okay, so since we've been talking about scarecrows this week, I am going to read Jeb Scarecrow's Pumpkin Patch to you, and then you guys are going to write about it in your journals. So for right now, you can just sit back and listen to my story. Jeb Scarecrow's Pumpkin Patch. It's mighty hard work scaring crows all day. Crows don't scare easy. A scarecrow's got to flap and wave his arms around and kick and hurl his legs. He's got to look like a wild man before he can scare those pesky, seed-guzzling, fruit-pecking crows. Jeb Scarecrow was just a kid, but he did a fine job guarding his family's pumpkin patch. Those pumpkin seeds had sprouted up all around him right nicely last spring. Now they were huge orange pumpkins basking in the October sun. In the evenings when the crows were in their nests, Jeb ambled along home to the little straw cottage he shared with Mommo and Daddo in the woods at the edge of the pumpkin patch. Jeb, I've got bad news for you, son, Mom said that night at dinner. There's talk among the crows of a big harvest celebration right in your pumpkin patch, the week before Halloween. Jeb dropped his fork. Why me? He cried. Why now? Those crazy crows throw a party every year, son, said Daddo. So far, it's been in other scarecrows' pumpkin patches. This year, they chose yours. They'll peck and pick at all my pumpkins, wailed Jeb. I won't be able to sell any for Halloween. Doggone it, what am I gonna do? Not much you can do, son, said Daddo, shaking his head sadly. No scarecrow ever won out over the crows when it comes to their harvest bash. Nope, sir, not one scarecrow ever won. There's no way around it, Jeb, said Mom with a sigh. Your pumpkin patch is as good as gone right now. You might as well forget it. There's always next year. No, they can't just have it. Not my pumpkin patch, said Jeb, and he stabbed his fork into his cherry pie. Each day, Jeb stubbornly showed up in the pumpkin patch at dawn's first light. He tried to plot some way to save his pumpkins, but it took a lot of thought, and the crows didn't leave Jeb much time for deep thinking. You're not partying here, Jeb warned Grandfather Crow as he swooped by. Oh, yes, we are, cawed Grandfather Crow, and no scarecrow can stop us. Least of all you, Jeb Scarecrow. You're nothing but a kid. And he flew away laughing. Ha, ha, ha. No one is celebrating in my pumpkin patch, Jeb yelled at Bernie Crow. You wait and see, Jeb Scarecrow, said Bernie. This pumpkin patch will be nothing but leftovers. And he flew away, chanting, Party, party, party. You crows should celebrate in the wild, not in some hard-working scarecrow's patch, Jeb scolded Lucy Crow. And eat berries when we could be eating giant juicy pumpkin? No thanks, said Lucy Crow saucily. We're going to eat pumpkins. That's right, these pumpkins. Your pumpkins. There's not a scarecrow alive who doesn't get nervous the night before he has to do something important. The night before the crow's big bash, Jeb tossed and turned and twirled until his sheets were twisted all around the middle. It was his last chance to think of a plan. He thought of this, he thought of that. He got up 3 times to eat. At last, in the darkest hour of the night, Jeb hatched a plot. Never mind not much sleep, Jeb was up at dawn. As soon as Mom and Dad heard him, they leapt out of bed. Jeb told them his plan. "We'll help, Jeb," said Mom, "any way we can." All day long, the crows kept Mommo and Daddo running up and down the pumpkin patch while Jeb worked steadily. He covered some of his pumpkins with a shirt, a shawl, or some other piece of clothing, and then mysteriously would crawl under each one. "Give up, Jeb," jeered Grandfather Crow. "We crows will win. You lose. We win. We win, loser. Ha!" "What are you doing so sneaky-like under those clothes?" asked Lucy Crow. But Jeb didn't bother to answer. He kept on working. At sunset, Dad shouted, "Jeb, the crows have left, or they've flown away to meet their guests." Jeb jumped out from under a scarf and said, "Mom, Dad, quick! We've got to set up the last part of my plan." The sky still glowed in the twilight, but the earth was dark and shadowy when Scarecrow family was finished. "I sure hope this works," whispered Mom. "Cross your fingers," Dad said softly. "Here they come," whooped Jeb. The sky darkened with noisy birds. "Wait until you see these mouth-watering pumpkins," Bernie Crow called loudly to the guests following him. "Yes, sir. Party time! We're almost there," Lucy Crow shouted. As soon as they came over the tops of the trees to Jeb Scarecrow's pumpkin patch, Bernie Crow hollered, "Hold everything! Monsters!" shrieked Lucy Crow, guarding Jeb Scarecrow's pumpkin patch. Great orange heads, staring like spooks, grinned up at them wickedly from the pumpkin patch. "Turn back!" squawked Bernie Crow. The neighborhood crows tried to stop, but the crows behind them just kept on coming. Soon the crows were all banging into each other, cawing and screeching, feathers flying everywhere. "Turn back!" shouted Lucy Crow. "That pumpkin patch is haunted." "Stop pushing!" hollered Grandfather Crow. "Let an old crow through." "Party's over," cawed Bernie Crow. "Party's over!" As the crows disappeared over the trees, Jeb collapsed with laughter. Mom and Dad sat down beside him, hee-hawing until their sides hurt. The honking of a car horn silenced their laughter. "Hey, Mr. Scarecrow," called a fellow from his car. "I'll buy one of those jack-o'-lanterns for Halloween. I couldn't carve one better myself, and I'll want one of those plain pumpkins, too, for pie." A car pulled up behind his, and then another. Soon the street was lined with cars. Folks were waving money and smiling at the jack-o'-lanterns and the pumpkins. Jeb was smiling, too, as he and Mommo and Daddo hurried about, selling his darling pumpkins. And that is the end. So what I want you guys to do is get out your blue journals. And in your blue journals today, I want you to tell me, how did Jeb Scarecrow scare away all the crows from his pumpkin patch? Okay, so you'll just open it up to the next blank page. And you can say something like, Jeb Scarecrow scared away the crows by, and what did he do to scare them, okay? Once you have done that, go to the next slide, and we're going to do a directed drawing together.